All right, guys, for topic 3, we're doing what we did in topic 2, which is factoring. We're going to solve the quadratic by factoring. So the key to this, to solve it, is we have to get the standard form. That's ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. It has to have equal to 0 here, or is the y. So I'm going to show you how to do the steps that we're providing here, and also how you can use your calculator to check. All right. So first step here is to make our equation equal to 0. Right now it's equal to a -5. So the first thing to make this 0, I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to add 15 to both sides of the equal sign. The right side here becomes 0, and I'm just going to rewrite this polynomial. So this is x squared plus 8x plus 15 now equals 0. Okay. We check for a GCF. We don't have a GCF here because no common factor here. So now we're going to use the X puzzle to factors of C. C is, remember, is your last term, which is our 15 here. That add up to B. B is our middle term, which is our 8 here. So when I make my X puzzle, the 15 goes on top, the 8 goes on bottom. So we want factors of 15. And we basically numbers we multiply to get 15. That would be 5 times 3. And 5 plus 3 gives me 8. So we have x plus 5 and x plus 3. We're going to make it equal to 0. Now to solve it, because that's what we're trying to do, factoring by solving, it says right here, set each factor, each basically set of parentheses equal to 0, and solve for the variable. So that means my x plus 5 is going to equal to 0, and my x plus 3 is going to equal to 0, and I'm going to solve for x. So here we're subtracting 5 on both sides. Okay, so here x equals, I'm going to just come over here, a -5, kind of ran out of room. And here, -3, x equals a -c. So we have two answers, a -5 and a -3. That's for example 1 here. So let's try our steps on example 2. First thing, hopefully you saw it, you have to subtract this 8. Let me change this font. We get x squared minus x minus 8 equals 0. Now we're doing our x puzzle. And in that x puzzle, the top is the -8. The bottom, sorry, is the -1. And our factors, well, if you look, there's nothing I can multiply together to give me a -8 with the sum of a -1. So there are no factors here that we can use. So if there are no factors possible, then you have to try quadratic formula or check the graph or use graph. I'm running out of room, sorry. So let me see if I can move this over. So let me show you how you could use your graph. So what we're going to do is we're going to write this equation as now y equals. Okay, I know it's kind of backwards, but let me open up my calculator so I can show you. And I'm going to show you on the Desmos calculator as well. You should have access to that. Let me just go get to open it. All right, so you have to go to y equals. Let me clear these out. But you do want the, let me clear this one out if it'll let me. I'm having some technical difficulties. Hold on just a second. All right, it's working, but there's a delay. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in our equation. So we have x squared, so x, and then our x squared is over here by the 7. And then we have a minus x, so that's right there by the alpha, and then minus 8. And it's equal to 0. So we do want the other equation, y2, to equal to 0, because we're going to look for their intersection of these two of the graph with the x-axis. So we hit graph, And so the blue is the parabola, that's y1, that's our equation that we typed in, and the red is the y equals 0, the horizontal line, the x-axis. And our solution is where these two lines intersect, where they cross right here. And if you can see, it's not happening at an exact tick mark, so it's going to be a decimal answer. So the way you can use your calculator to get the answer is you put both equations in, then you go second trace, and you pick 5, which is intersection, and then you're going to hit enter 3 times. Enter, enter, enter. And you should see the blinking cursor at that intersection on the x-axis, and then you should see the word intersection. So one of our solutions is x equals a negative 3.78. You can round that to maybe a negative 3.7 or negative, I said 3, sorry, negative 2. Negative 2.372281, but I can round this to negative 2.4 if I wanted to the nearest 10. Now, because I see there's 2 intersections here, I have to repeat those steps. But I need to tell the calculator to come over here to this other side. So when I do second trace and 5 for intersection, I'm now going to arrow to the right to tell the calculator I want to find the intersection over here on the right side. And then I hit enter 3 times. And this one's a negative, oh, no, positive, sorry, 3.4 or 3.372. So now, the decimal calculator will do the same thing. You just don't have to use the I believe the y equals 0. So you have access of the decimal calculator on quizzes. And you have to go to decimals.com, and you go to math tools here. And what we're going to do is type in our equation. We had, let me get my keyboard up here, y, oops, no, sorry, let me come back, y, and then equals, and we're going to do x squared. Now, to get to your x squared, let me close out this. You can hit this keyboard down here to show your options, or you can do shift 6. So right here is the exponent of 2. So we have x squared, but then we also need to do minus x. I'm going to do my keyboard. And then we also need plus, I believe it's plus 8. No, minus 8. All right. So I'm going to minimize this. So if you look now, the beauty about the decimals calculator is you can see some points here. You can zoom in. Excuse me, zoom in. You can drag. You know, if I wanted to see the vertex down here, which is on the next topic we're going to get to. But if you look, it'll give me an idea of those intercepts right there. And I can get that point, and if you click on it, it'll make it bold, and it'll also tell me what that point is, which is that negative 2.3728 that we got. Now, if you click right here where it says, like it looks like a little arrow pointing down, X point to the left into the session. You just click on it, it just puts the point over here and color codes it. So I can come over here, I can try to find this point. There it is right there. I can click on it, and now it's there, or I can export it in. These are just some extra features. What you really just need to see is that point. And the thing about Desmos, if you click on the points that you see that would be on the graph, like I could click on this point over here. It would show me its value, and I can use that order pair, okay? So that just helps you whenever we can't factor. So our other way is whenever we do have a leading coefficient of a, excuse me, but we still want to make the equation equal to 0. So for this, I would have to add the 11y to both sides. So we get 2y squared plus 11y plus 5 equals 0. And now because we have a coefficient in front of that y squared, it says right here, slide the a to c and multiply. So we're sliding this 2 to 5. Now we're going to make our x puzzle, and it's going to be a 10 because 2 times 5 is 10, with an 11 at the middle. The only factors that give me 10 with the sum of 11 are 10 and 1. Then I can now divide the factors. So I'm going to write my factors as y plus 10 and y plus 1, but we're going to divide by the factor of a. So let's divide the original by a, so I'm dividing by 2, and then set each factor equal to 0. Well, this can be simplified to y plus 5, and this one I would have to do bottoms up. Or no, because we're solving, just keep it like that, y plus 1/2. We're going to make that equal to 0, and we're going to solve. Now, the shortcut is whenever we're solving, the answer is always going to be opposite of what we read here. So our y here is a -5 and a -1/2. Okay. So what I would like for you to do is try example 3. Let's see if you can just identify the first step. -10, correct. If you said that, that's correct. So this is going to give me 3w squared minus 13w minus 10 equals 0. And now we're going to slide and multiply, sliding our 3 over to this -10, make our x puzzle. So -30, -13. So factors of a -30 with the sum of a -13. That would be -15 and 2. Okay, so we have w minus 15, w plus 2 equals 0. Because we slide over, because we have this coefficient here, we got to divide by that coefficient 3. So this gets simplified as w minus 5, and this can stay as w plus 2/3 equal to 0. So our solution is w equals a positive 5 and a negative 2/3. So I do want you to see if you can apply the steps here on these problems, and then we can check them online when you're going through each topic section. Hopefully on here we recognize that we're adding 5 on both sides. And when we do that, we can combine the like terms here. So we got x squared minus 11x plus 24 equals 0. And then we're going to go into sliding and multiplying here. Just go into our x puzzle. A 24 on top and a -11 on the bottom. So factors of 24 with the -11, -3 times a -8 give me a positive 24, and if I add that I get a -11. So I have x minus 8 and x minus 3 equals 0. So x equals a positive 8 and positive 3. All right, so let's see if we can recognize our first step here. We got actually a couple things we have to do to make this equal to 0. We have to add the 30 and subtract the 11r. Okay, so both things cancel. We have 5r squared minus a 55r plus 150 equals 0. Now, for a problem like this, I would see that there's a GCF here. The all term has 5 in common. I'm going to take out that 5 first. Now I have r squared minus 11r plus my 30 equals 0. And now I'm doing my x puzzle for this trinomial. So see if we can come with our factors of 30 with the sum of a -11. So see if you can answer this and check your understanding on here. And then we're going to move on to our next topic.